So it's more about respect too.
Because without respect, men don't have vulnerability.
Boom.
That's true.
I gotta respect you first.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and open up to you if I don't respect you.
What's up, y'all? It's Ashley.
I'm Fee.
It's Melody.
And Cody here, and you've tapped into
The Mama's Den.
Welcome to the Mama's Den. Y'all, okay, fellas, ladies, grandmamas, granddaddies, all the people who listen to the Den. We've had some incredible mamas here and experts. And today we have our first daddy in the den.
Yes. Daddy in the den.
If we don't
To the parenting
if we don't
club.
count Tommy.
Well, Tommy kind of crashed.
Tommy crashes.
Yeah, my
we
husband,
like when he crashes.
he just kind of jumps in and we ask him awkward questions.
Okay.
And then the internet judges all of us. But
Yeah.
Omar Bolden from the Nice and Neat podcast and New Daddy is up in here in the den so that we can ask him all the questions and he can give us all the manly wisdom. And we're so excited. Congratulations on being a new daddy.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you ladies for having me at the Mama's Den. I'm proud to be the first lion in the Mama's Den. In the Mama's Den, and I'm excited to get into some conversation.
Well, first of all, how old is this baby?
My baby will be 6 months next Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
we're in it.
amazing.
It's a blessing. It's the biggest blessing of my life.
Yeah.
She's changing every day for sure.
Wow. Well, I definitely want to hear about the Nice and Neat podcast. I mean, Melanie, Felicia, you guys know Omar differently than me and Ashley. So will y'all give us a little background?
So I know Omar's beautiful wife. So the baby's mom. And I'm just so happy. It's nice to like have you in here and like get a chance to talk to you. Because knowing Candace for so many years, seeing her evolve and grow into motherhood. Now she has a wife and partner. It's really wonderful. And so I know a big part of her evolution and her all her success is accomplished with you as a partner. So
And likewise.
it's good. It's really good. It's nice to have you on here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's so amazing. Okay, so me and Omar met, oh my God, back in the day, years ago. And you know what?
2012.
What'd you say, 2012?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
a long time ago. And one thing I've always appreciated about you, and mind you, I think the first time we ever hung out, it was like a group of us went to a club.
In Riverside.
You remember? Yeah.
Riverside.
And it was
Yep.
cracking.
It was cracking.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have always made sure, like, do you need anything? Are you good? You've always been respectful. You've always just been super dope. Wait, when did you stop playing football?
My last season, 2016. I really retired in 2018.
Okay, yeah. So I remember that like very briefly, and then obviously I would see you around, but you've always just been like, you've been the same, like in a positive way, you know, like you've been consistent, you've been respectful, you've been like, you know, you'll look out for the women that are around you, and I'm like, I just really love that about you, and I appreciate it about you.
Man, I appreciate you telling me that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Aww.
That's real nice. I
you're-
accept those flowers. I receive
You're
them.
a girl
Amazing.
dad.
Yeah, I'm a girl dad. It's funny because my wife and I really thought we were having a boy first.
Really?
I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's just like a man having his first child.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
just thinks it's gonna be a boy.
Yeah.
You know, so much so that like our daughter's name is Ocean, but it was for our son.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love that.
It was for our son. You
Y'all
know what I
were
mean?
sure.
Yeah, we were so sure. We were shocked. You know, when it happened. But like I said, she's been the biggest blessing. You know?
Did you guys find out before she was born or did you wait till she was born?
No, we did a gender reveal.
Okay.
We did a small, like, super intimate gender reveal in the appropriate time. I don't remember the time frame. But yeah, for our next one, we probably would just figure it out. You know, wait till the baby comes. But this one was like, nah, we want to experience all the first, like
Yeah.
the baby shower. You know
Yes.
what I mean? The gender reveal, all those moments. You
Yeah.
know, especially for the first one, because we'll never have a first one again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it was really important for us to do everything.
I love watching you guys create the experiences, you know, to see the first, and you guys are really good at, first of all, I love your guys' community, like, and just to be an observer of your friends and your family and bringing everybody together and the love, like, to me, it's just so fire. I love it. Yeah. Would you guys want to have a second kid?
1000%.
Okay.
No
'cause
time
I'm like-
soon.
That boy, yeah, because I'm like, yeah, you need that boy.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, can I also?
I mean, even
girl?
even if we get a girl, like I believe that siblings need a sibling.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like, no, we're definitely going back into the lab. No time soon, though.
Yeah.
No time. No, we chilling.
Yeah,
We
Well,
that's
chilling.
good.
I want to
That's
remind the
good.
internet because some folks probably saw was it the pregnancy announcement that was a music video?
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
they did the-
yeah.
Yes. It was Victor.
Yeah.
It was a
On My
not
Mama.
a
On My
spoof.
Mama.
I was, an homage.
Exactly.
An
Yeah.
homage to Victoria Monet's "On My Mama," but it was just like a beautiful video.
fire.
Y'all,
Oh,
it
that
was
was dope.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really Candace's idea. You know, Candace is such a
Candace,
creative.
She's such a creative. She's an incredible dancer.
Man.
She
She's
an
can
incredible
sing. She can do
dancer.
everything.
Yeah.
She can literally do everything.
She can
literally-
sing?
She's an author.
Yeah, she's a chameleon.
What?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, that was definitely her idea, her inspiration. Anything that you see us do together that involves us dancing is definitely inspired and led by her.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's not something I even had the confidence to do until I met her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
speaking of that,
love
what
that.
I think for me, I love when I see men doing things, and the fact that you're not a dancer, you didn't feel like, what makes you, or is it just her that makes you feel like, okay, I'm gonna do this? Because a lot of men are like, I'm not gonna get in that video, I'm not gonna do that, that's corny. But the fact that you were in it and you were into it is, to me, is what made it really dope to me. Like, look at him supporting
Super
his wife.
into it,
she
yeah.
never makes me feel stupid. You know what I mean? Part of the reason why people don't try things is because they're afraid that they're gonna look stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're afraid to be embarrassed. They're
Yeah.
afraid to make a mistake or hit the wrong step.
Yeah.
But when you're with someone who's like, okay, you hit the wrong step.
Right.
Let's do it again.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And coming from sports, like I align with
Appreciate it,
with
yeah.
that mindset. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You could constructively like criticize
Yeah.
me and coach me
Yeah.
to get me to where you need me to go. Like I have no problem. Like you could coach me hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could receive it. You know what I mean? So it just works. But yeah, she just never makes me feel stupid. She's always encouraging me and maybe even sometimes gassing me up. And whether it's false or
good.
whether
Yeah.
it's true,
Yeah.
it feeds my
Makes you
ego
feel
and it
good.
gives me the confidence to perform in that moment. You know what I mean?
That's
So
dope.
that's like, those are like great leadership qualities.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like you know how to like pull the best out of individual. You know that. So like I've actually never like recognized her as a leader.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The
until this
fact that
moment,
you said that, what was it? How you were raised? Did you go to therapy? Like, what made you confident as a male to even allow your wife to lead you in those areas? You know what I mean?
Man, I have been to therapy, but I don't think that's what really
Yeah.
helped me in that particular situation. I think honestly, like I have a desire to be great. I want to be good at least good, bare minimum of everything that I do,
Yeah.
that I
Right,
attempt
right.
to do, put my heart into, my energy and my emotions. And I think that's what brought it. She just brings it out of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
That's fire.
she allows me the space to grow.
Yeah.
You know?
How is her coaching in terms of, because obviously you guys are entering this new parenting space together, right? So how do you see her showing up as a mom and coaching, or maybe it's both of you guys doing it to one another, like?
Well, I'll tell you right now, ain't no coaching going on.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's like you figuring it out
surviving.
together.
It's two.
Yeah.
It's two players out there like not knowing what's going on and just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's just like, like, I'm gonna use sports references, but just like off the pivot, like I don't know what to do, but just pass the ball.
Yeah.
All right, you know what to do? Shoot it. I'll rebound it. You know what I mean? Like so we don't. Nah, man, we don't know what the hell we're
With
doing.
one-
Every day we were like, shit, it's something new here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
even us with older kids is still feeling
with
like
one,
that.
with one kid, it's 2-on-1. When it's two kids, it's man to man.
Yeah.
When you go up 3, and ask Ashley and Cody, because they have 3 kids. She has 4 kids, and Cody has 3. Now you got to play zone. Now you like it's a basketball.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
no,
I get it, you know. So now,
Yeah.
so now you know, like it's like, oh, it really does take partnership. Like in
Yeah.
that first one, and then nobody really knows what they're doing. You really have to talk to your partner. You really have to be like, okay, like there's certain instincts she has as the mom. There's certain instincts you have as the dad. And we talked about this on a podcast recently. Like there's so many conversations that you need to have with your partner about raising children together.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know until you get there. And you're just like, oh, I never would have thought you would have done that.
But
You're like,
would you say? I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry,
no, you're
but
fine. You
Would
did.
you say that it's important to have those conversations prior to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would say
a lot of people say we should have those conversations, but no one really talking about when is the right
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yes.
Or how do you bring it up?
You know what I
or-
mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like if you don't have, personally, I
Yeah.
feel like if you don't have them before, you're gonna struggle. Candace and I spent so much time talking about how we want to parent, what kind of parents we will
Yes.
be, what we will do in this situation. Now, granted, right, everything is circumstantial, right? And we
Then you
don't
get
know
there.
what's going to happen
Yeah,
until we're
right.
actually in the
Of course.
moment.
Yeah.
But at least we have thought about the
Yep.
scenario, and we have like pre-planned our response or our actions in that moment. Now, if something presents itself and we have to act a different way, well, not just what happens, but like I'm big on planning.
Yeah.
I'm big on talking about scenarios, possible situations, and outcomes.
Yeah.
I get that from sports. That's just like how we prepare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we talk a lot about those outcomes and situations and scenarios, and I feel like thus far
Yeah.
it has helped us. But I will say, like, we still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're out there just like swimming and
So
with no life vest. It's
I
crazy.
want to talk a little bit about your background
Sure.
and also when Candace came into your life. Also,
Yeah.
let our YouTube audience know Ashley's about to lose an eye.
Sorry, y'all. It's my allergies.
The
I'm
way that I was
allergic.
like, what is happening over there?
were
It's
out-
happening.
We
It's
were
fine.
outside. You guys made me go outside. I'm allergic to everything. Sorry.
My allergies are bad too.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Is it better? You got your tissue?
Oh no, it's going to be watering the whole time.
okay.
You
We're
like
fine.
you like tea?
I do. I love tea.
You got to get you some nettle tea.
I have nettles
Nettle tea, that would be great for your allergies.
You know what? I just nothing works. Like it's just I just think I'm from another
Just
planet.
emotional. I see the tears.
Yeah, I'm
coming.
crying because this is so good.
Yeah. That's what we do in the den. Okay, so can we back up a little bit? Because I know you guys talked about sports, football, and also even nice and neat, right? I think when we were talking about like bringing a daddy into the den, you came up right away for us because you've created such a beautiful space for men, for Black men in particular, to be authentic and vulnerable, and that we don't see that every day, right? In terms of creating those spaces. And so I want to back up and talk a little bit about you and how was that a comfortable space for you? When did that start where you were like talking with your homies so vulnerably? And then like tell us a little bit about playing football. Like
Yeah.
give us the trajectory.
Yeah, in terms of, well, you know what? I think it's important to go in order. So let's start with football, right? So
Where are you from?
I'm from Ontario, California.
Okay.
From Ontario, California, I went to Arizona State out of high school, and then from Arizona State, I was drafted by the Denver Broncos. I spent 4 seasons in the NFL before it was ended because of injury, and I spent like 2.5 years just trying to find myself after, right? Really figuring out, which is really just like a really up and down time for me because I'm such a positive person, but if I'm being honest, I was depressed.
I was just about to say. I was just about to ask you that. Did it come with that depression, like trying to find your identity outside of this thing you worked so hard
1,000%.
for?
I didn't know who Omar was.
Yep.
I think I had a really good understanding of who O was because that was like the persona that I was on the field. You know what I mean? He was underneath the helmet and this big guy who played in front of thousands of people. You know what I mean? But like when all of that shut off,
Yeah.
then it was like, well, damn, who
How
am
old
I?
were you?
Yeah. How old was
When
I?
it ended, when football ended.
I was 27. I was young.
Okay. Yeah.
27. I was 27, and emotionally, I didn't really know how to handle that, so I moved. I was here. I kept running into people at the store, like, "Yo, what you doing here? Ain't you supposed to be at?"
Oh wow.
I'm out of here. So I moved to New York. At the time, I thought I wanted to pursue fashion after football. And I wound up in an opportunity to work with a startup company. So I worked with this brand for 6 months, which was like a great like re-entry into the reality or into the real world because like working is the real world.
Right.
Like pro sports, don't get me wrong, it's a real job, but like it's just a little bit different from corporate 9 to 5 and even entrepreneurship. It's just different, you know what I mean? So like I needed that to like get back into the swing of things. And I decided to come back home. I fell into training, like personal training. You know, it was just an easy segue. I'm in sports, I'm in the gym all the time. You know, it became an easy way for me to make some money. At the time, I wasn't making any dollars. I wasn't making no money. Everything out of my account was just red. Just going out, going out, going out. Yeah. And so, you know, for me, it was just like, man, I gotta get back into working and so I could feel good again, feel good about myself. And that led to me like creating opportunities for me in print work and modeling, which opened up doors for me to like start acting and things of that nature. At the same time, I'm getting haircuts every week. I'm a fresh guy. I like being on camera. I shoot content. You're right. This is how I'm making my money. And one of my best friends is my barber, right? My roommate at the time, who was the other host on our podcast, we lived together, so we're going to the barbershop at the same time. And Duke, who is the roommate I'm referring to, he had just finished playing ball at the same time. So we're both kind of like on these like just floating schedules. Like there's really nothing filled up. We're kind of just trying to figure it out. So we spend a lot of time in the barbershop. Too much time. Too much time. But we're having great conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And conversations that's actually pushing the needle, that's challenging us. And after a while, I was just like, man, maybe we should start a podcast. Maybe we should start a podcast.
This is your other co-host he cuts hair. What's his
Jalan.
name again? Oh wow.
Jalan.
Wow.
Jalan owned a shop on Ventura, at the time, Ventura, Hazeltine, in the Valley. And we would all, it was a hot spot. And at the time, he was, he had, I don't know what you call them. You ladies would definitely know the name, but they do, nails and
like a esthetician.
esthetician.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, estheticians in there, right? So it was like a dope little setup. It was for men too. So it was like, obviously you guys have your own spots where you guys go, but we always have to go to the female spot to do those things. You know what I mean? So it was really dope. And I think like just having those type of, even though it sounds silly, but
it doesn't to us.
No.
Yeah.
okay. But those moments allowed us to be more vulnerable and,
Yeah.
and they opened up the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it was like, you know what? Let's actually put something together. Let's start a podcast.
Yeah.
Pandemic hit. Stopped our whole
Yeah.
motion. It was like, nah, maybe not. 21 came around. We was like, you know what? Let's bring the idea back into fruition. We did that, and man, ever since we've been consistent. We started off in a small studio where we were renting the space. It was like a small desk, microphone on one side, and the other side another one, and we had headphones on. And it just wasn't our vibe. It just felt like we was kind of
Like
forcing
staged?
it.
Yeah,
It felt
yeah,
staged. It felt
yeah.
staged. Like it
Yeah.
just didn't feel good. You know what I mean? But we ran through, and at the time we didn't know anything, but we thought you could create your own seasons. We shot 12 episodes. We was like, oh, we have a season. You know what I mean? You guys know that's we're nowhere even close to a season, but we
Right.
thought we had a season. And after the first 12 episodes, we brought a female in who's been instrumental in our growth.
Shout out to women.
Yeah, shout out to women. You gotta have one. You gotta have one.
Gotta
in your
have
corner.
a woman on your team.
Gotta have one on your team. Yeah, her name is Dammy, and she came and she really helped us switch things up. You know what I mean? And we took it from the studio. We got more homie. Got a couch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we feel like we
Couch
the
makes
big
a
brothers.
difference.
We feel like we the big bros. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And when you
yeah.
sit
For
down,
real.
listen to us, we want you to be like, yo, big bro on.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
that's literally the energy that you guys bring too.
And that's what we
Yeah.
wanted. That was more authentic to who we are, you know what I mean, and our everyday lifestyle. So yeah, that happened, and good things have been coming from it. We were able to sign to Revolt a couple years ago, which was awesome for us. You know what I mean?
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we're just staying consistent. We've created another pillar within our business. You know what I mean? We're doing retreats.
Yeah,
So
Men's Con.
So we're just
Yeah.
off the back of Men's Con. We just had our first men's retreat, which was incredible. I think in the next 10 years, it's going to be the biggest men's conference in the world. And I say this because like you have your conferences by like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, like these huge like financial and really, I guess, self-improvement things. But they're always just they're always just like in these big auditoriums and talking about finance in particular, which is fine, right? But we just take it a step further we feel like for men, in order for men to get vulnerable, men have to sweat. If men don't sweat, if I don't sweat with you, and if I don't know you and I don't sweat with you, I'm not sharing nothing with you.
That's deep.
I'm not sharing nothing with you. Like that's like the entryway.
Yeah.
Because even if
icebreaker.
you out of shape and I'm in shape, it doesn't, or vice versa. We're both going through something hard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whether I'm in shape or not, it may be less difficult for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got an enormous amount of respect for you doing it.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
So it's more about respect too.
Because without respect, men don't have vulnerability.
That's true.
I gotta respect you first.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and open up to you if I
Yeah.
don't respect you.
That's
Right.
real.
No, I don't trust you. I don't trust you with this vulnerability, with this information I'm about to disclose with
Yep.
you. I don't trust you with it.
Yeah.
It's like trust and respect.
Right.
I'm both
Yeah.
trying to gain, and that's something that we were like big on. It was very
Yeah.
important for us to sweat with guys, and I think like that is like the difference maker in what we're doing. So yeah, I know it's a little long-winded, but that's
no,
kind
no,
of that's
it's
kind
Yeah,
of the
that's
story.
great.
This is so
I mean,
important for
we
Black
need the
men.
spaces, and I say we as the Black community. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, we in this
obviously the
together.
Space not for us, but we need the spaces to exist so that we can all be healthier and happier and have better relationships with each other. So,
Do you
I'm
feel like
grateful.
your journey to vulnerability has kind of always been there, or do you feel like leaving the league made you kind of be forced to find it, or did you always feel like there needed to be spaces for men to be able to share and be vulnerable.
I wasn't even thinking about it as a player. As a player, as a pro athlete, I wasn't even thinking about vulnerability. Nah.
Wow.
Right.
Emotions, nah, I don't have those. Oh, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Nah, girls have those, bro. You know what I mean? It's not till like I said, the lights go out, the music stops spinning. You know what I mean? And you're like, I'm a real person.
Do you have siblings?
I have a younger sister.
Okay, because that's what I was gonna ask. Like growing up with a sister, did that even give you like a little bit of like, okay, like knowing how to, I don't know, communicate with women or just understanding that difference? Not really.
Because as kids, man, we don't know how to articulate. We don't even know how to express ourselves barely. You know what I mean? Or even understand and interpret what emotions feel like.
Yeah.
So if I'm being honest, my relationship with my sister was rough. She's the only girl. I'm the only boy. I'm older. I want to play. She's the only person I could play with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She don't want to do what you want to
She
do.
don't want to go out. So like
Yeah.
oftentimes, I'm getting in trouble, getting whoopings because I'm being too rough. You know what I mean? I'm too physical. She can't do that. She's a girl. You know what I mean? So like, our vulnerability went to another level after as we both became adults. You know what I mean? But like growing up, it was not like that at all.
How does your vulnerability play a part in you being a girl dad?
Well, it's a teachable moment every day. You know what I mean? But I mean, the moment that I held my daughter for the first time, it brought tears to my eyes. So there was like a level of, of emotions that was unlocked. And I couldn't even explain it. You know what I mean? It was like when I saw her, like I saw God. You know
I was
what
just about to say, it's God.
Yeah.
It's that's the feeling.
You know what's crazy? The moment I held my daughter for the first time, I had this, it was crazy. I had this like, for lack of better words, like a flashback of just like every wrongdoing I've done in my life. And I'm not just talking to women, I'm talking about to people. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure it's a long list of women in there, right? I'm just being honest.
That's why you got a girl.
I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
But like all my wrongdoings, and I'm like, yo, any wrongdoing I do to other people, I do to God. And that's like what I interpret in that moment.
Yep.
And it just was like, man, like from this moment on, bro, you gotta be the best person, the best father, the best husband that this little girl is able to see every day. You know what I mean? So, and I take it serious. I take that shit serious. I take my job serious as a husband and as a father and as a leader of my family.
That's so beautiful.
This summer, I was listening to the podcast, and you were talking about how she's kind of disrupted your sleep schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, there was an analogy you said about like drowning, like feeling like you're underwater.
Yeah.
First off, how's that going? Several months later.
I'm not drowning.
Okay.
I'm not drowning. I'm still in the water.
Yeah.
I'm in the water, and I'm figuring it out. I think, I don't know if you caught this, but in that clip, I was trying to be vulnerable and express that it was really weird to me that her waking me up. I know I asked for this daughter. I prayed for this daughter, right? And now she's here, and she's crying in the middle of the night, and now I'm pissed.
Welcome.
Hey, what is this?
Yeah, we get it.
What is this?
It's a toxic relationship.
And I found myself like beating myself up because there are moments where I get up and I'm like, oh,
I'm tired.
I'm tired. And it's like, she don't deserve that. And so I found myself like very conflicted in those moments because, I just didn't understand it. But I was able to give myself grace.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time that I've done this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna be better.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that like I'm aware and present
Yeah.
of my
Yeah.
emotions, my actions, and how I'm moving and interacting, in those moments. So I would say it's progressive.
Yeah.
Can
It's
you walk
progressive.
us through what that looks like giving the listeners and the viewers an example of when you are frustrated with your child and just screaming, crying, whatever, like what does that look like for you as a man?
I gotta breathe. I gotta breathe. A lot of times when I react, it's because I'm not intentionally focused on breathing. But when I shift my intention to my breathing, I'm usually able to formulate a better response. Right? So like reactions come instantaneous, right? But a response you could take time.
Yeah.
And so breathing has really helped, and obviously, but the viewers and listeners may not know, like meditation is a big part of my practice, right? Along with prayer. So being in that practice for over 2 years now consistently has given me tools in those moments. Now, I'm not the best.
Yeah.
I'm not the best, and I make mistakes. But what I've known or what I've learned is like breathing really helps me.
Yeah. How often do you meditate?
Daily.
Okay. Like,
Daily.
is it like you do it at the start of your day? Like, what's that look like?
Nah, because we've had a newborn.
Yeah.
My
Schedule's off.
and routine has
Yeah.
changed.
You got to get it in where you can.
In fact, it's not even. What I've learned about meditation is meditation doesn't just need to be you sitting down
Yep.
in silence.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Meditation just requires you being present.
Yeah.
Right? So watering my plants is a form of meditation for me.
Yeah.
Taking a walk with my dog without
Yeah.
my Apple Watch, without
Yeah.
my phone
Yep.
is a form of meditation to me.
Active meditation.
You feel me?
Do you do it too? Like, do you go into a meditative state when you're working out?
All the time.
Yeah, that's
All
the
the
fun
time.
part.
And I try to even, unless I'm like struggling through a workout, like, and I need that extra, I got to throw in some Future, I'll do that. But like, even the things I'm listening to keep me in a meditative
Yeah.
state.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, you will be shocked to hear what's coming through my headphones as
Now
I'm
you
hitting
gotta
the
tell
weights.
us. You gotta tell us what's in your
Little Shania
headphones.
Twain.
No. This morning there's an artist by the name of Londrell.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Andrea.
yeah, I was gonna
Okay,
say, yeah.
like, I wouldn't say it's hip hop. I wouldn't say it's Christian, but the kingdom is in his rap.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's spiritual. It's spiritual. But I also listen to podcasts. I will literally listen to nature sounds.
Yeah.
Same.
That's good.
Nature sounds, just birds chirping,
Right.
wind blowing, waves crashing. You know what I mean? That's what keeps me in the best state. And even at the house, like I'm back in school, so I'm studying a lot.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
you hear that playing around the house all the time.
Yeah.
Wait,
You
when are
guys
you
play
back
it
in
for the
school?
baby?
Oh.
Sorry. You play the same like sounds and things for the baby?
She's on like this Mozart sound. She gets the earth sounds, and we play.
You guys do white noise and
We do white
5 hertz and all the frequencies.
We do that. We do that, and she loves listening to Gracie's
I
Corner.
was just gonna say, is it Gracie's Corner?
She loves.
I mean,
I was struggling to find it. I was like,
we
what is
love
it?
listening. As adults, we love Gracie's Corner.
Oh no, it's got me.
Clap
It's-
your hands, it's your birthday.
What sound does a letter make? What sound does a letter? That's a bop. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah.
Wait, I do want to say this though. When you mentioned that you get frustrated and you're trying, because I have 4 children, that's not going to change. Just FYI. Like I know you were like, well, this is our first kid, but like you've already given yourself grace. But just also know that that's completely normal, and I think it's something that our parents don't talk to us about, and obviously a lot of women get to share that in intimate settings. But it's completely normal to be annoyed, frustrated by your child. Sleep deprivation is real,
Yes.
and I just don't know anybody that can truly like. There's only so much grace you can give yourself when you haven't slept. Like like it
Nah, it's
really
real.
changes your body on a spiritual, physical element. And
They
so
turn your life upside down.
Yes. I
Immediately.
mean, the amount of times that I would go into my room and just scream into my pillow and then come out like, okay, mommy's here, but that's normal. And obviously, like, we want these babies. We make them intentionally, but I have a 15-year-old, honey. A lot of times I just go into my room and I go, and then I come back, I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Like, it's just a part of parenting, and it's going to happen for the rest of your life.
So your way of dealing with that is finding 2 to 5 minutes in solace
Yeah.
and just letting it out.
Yeah, because I mean, I pray, I meditate. I was raised Muslim, so like we pray a lot. There's a lot of praying all day, 5 times. And so like I pray a lot. Like it's very normal for me. But there's just times like it's just not like you just have to release it.
Yep.
You don't always have time to do a workout. You're not gonna have time to listen to no birds chirping. You're just gonna have to like release it, take a shower, whatever it is, and then just go back into it, knowing that like it's gonna continuously happening for the rest of your life as a parent. My mom tells me too. She's like, girl, I still screaming pillows over you. Like it's just a
Yep.
part of parenting, So
What advice would you give new fathers?
Oof.
You're like, a lot.
He's like, I need some.
What advice would I give? I would give new fathers the advice of go fill up them bottles, go wash them bottles, refill them bottles, wash the pump, and do this ahead of time so your wife or your lady don't get on your ass. Make sure you keep your lady hydrated so she can lactate and fed, obviously, because she's doing a heavy lift. And if it's not gonna make a difference in 5 years, don't talk about it.
Ooh.
Love it.
okay, we're gonna have to put that on a t-shirt. That's gonna be the whole episode.
Interesting.
Yes. This is
Okay,
good.
so we have listener letters, and we actually have 2 that we feel like you could give some advice on.
Okay,
So if you don't mind, we're gonna
let's do it.
get into some ads and then pull up these listener
Gotta
letters.
make that money.
So this episode is inspired by Ford, the new Ford Explorer 2025, and so we've been talking a lot together and with Omar about new beginnings and about like kind of building up the courage to when your life changes, when you take a new path, when you get on a new road, like you do when you're driving an Explorer. So as parents, we have to switch gears a lot. So I just want anyone to give any example of how you've been allowing yourself or giving yourself grace to change your path when something's not working. Fifi, Ashley's pointing at you.
I feel like you just recently you've been talking about that a lot.
What is it?
About changing.
I'm like, which part?
I feel like you've been talking about it a lot, Ash, too.
Oh, what, changing my path?
Changing your the way you've been parenting. You're like, I've definitely been
Even getting a nanny.
allowing to yourself. You've said it. I asked for help.
Yeah.
I'm not stressing out over the things that I need to. I'm not being so like,
Type A.
What's that?
Type A.
Well, I mean, yeah, like just so strict on like
Yeah.
the things,
Still
like, the
type
way
A.
that you think
Yeah.
think
I am
things need
still
to
type
go.
A.
And with
Yeah.
4 kids, like I love that for you.
Yeah, no, I do. I think that for me, I keep joking with y'all, this is my soft girl era, but I realized for when I was raised by a single mom. So a lot of that energy was just from my dad not really having an input in the home. And so obviously when I moved into my marriage and relationship and parenting, like having my husband's input was like, boy, who, like, what is happening right now? Like, there should be one voice, mine. And so I had to really learn to like listen to him. And the moment that I've leaned into really allowing him to be my true partner in everything and to truly lead, because I thought it was like a weakness to say like my husband leads the family and all of these things. I feel like that has allowed me to give myself more grace and to honestly just be more peaceful. I'm like, that's too much masculine energy. I don't need that. I just want to be a lady. I don't want to lift heavy things. I just want to be his wife and like be a good, happy mom. And I feel like a lot of that comes from me allowing help, right?
Yeah.
From my husband, from listening to my mom, hiring a nanny so that I don't have to do everything and I can show up as a wife. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have to do everything and I can show up as a mom. So for me, I feel like that's really been the biggest pivot in my life. And
Yeah.
I feel like I was telling Melanie the other day, like, man, if we could look at our whole entire lives and know we're still going to end up here, the way I would have did everything differently. Do you know what I mean? With just like with less stress. I was stressing about the wrong things.
Like more grace.
Yeah, I mean, we've been together for 16 years, but I'm like, damn, I wasted. Yeah, I know. That's my
That's
baby.
wild.
That's my man,
Yeah.
my man, my man.
I knew
It's
I
a
was
long time.
Wait, I was like, wait, when you were like, you've been talking about this. I'm like, what have I been talking about? But yes, the pivot part, I feel like I'm in a space right now, in a season right now where I'm wanting to do God's will. Like getting out of the driver's seat
Girl.
and literally allowing the Lord to just do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, because I noticed that when I try to take control, it's temporary. It's moments of happiness. It's bursts of that, burst of fulfillment. But it's not sustainable. It's not, you know, and so you know, making different decisions within business of like, I mean, I know everybody thinks that I should do this, but I'm kind of not feeling it, and pivoting in that way. So that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've
I'm
been
in
doing
that
the
space.
the grand pivot, the spiritual pivot.
The
but I love
grand
that for you.
pivot. Yeah.
But I feel the same way. I think it's a spiritual thing too, to be like in a space where you trust God and you trust God to be like the center of your home and just having that. Even, you know, my husband, you don't know this, my husband is Buddhist and I was raised Muslim. So like, even for us, we talked a lot before we were together about how we were going to run our family, knowing that we come from different spiritual backgrounds. And our house is very much led spiritually through a love of God, but it's not really religious focused. But like even tapping more into that with my kids and making sure that they're praying every night and making sure that they're just having that moment of realization and being very centered. Because I grew up with that. Even that when you take like religion away, you have to be very intentional about making sure your children have a relationship with God outside of that. You know?
I think too, just listening to both of you, and even with Omar and the changes in his life becoming a new dad, like it's just being open to how a season may change you,
Yes.
or require you to change and show up differently.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
However, I just don't think that this season will ever end for me, because in my situation, it's like, it's no longer about you anymore.
Yeah.
Facts. But
or not. It's not just about you.
right,
Okay,
right,
okay.
Sorry.
Melanie was about to be like,
Sorry.
hold on.
You're like, don't lose yourself.
He was ready.
Yeah.
It's not just about me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where before, even with my wife, maybe sometimes I may have been able to be a little selfish, and her too. We focus on each other. you know what I mean?
right. Of course.
Yeah.
On themselves. But now it's like, no, that baby is crying, bro.
Yeah.
No, that baby is hungry. No, that baby need to be changed, and not like in a minute. Now,
Right. Yep.
No, you need to pause your shit.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to wait. You gotta wait,
Yeah.
and that's like a real shift. That's a very, very tough shift. You know.
I always say, like, consideration is massive in any relationship. Like, with your children, with your partner, any dynamic is like, once you have somebody else to consider, that is really what is driving a lot of your decisions when you want to have something successful. It's you're considering what that other person might need, how they would feel, what they would appreciate. And then in return, they're doing the same for you. So you don't feel like you're neglecting a certain part of yourself. Consideration is massive. In children, it's like we immediately go into these modes where we have to be considerate of someone else. But then you're like, wait, I'm still a person. Just like, oh, I'm tired. How come I don't feel like? How come I'm upset? Because you're also still a person, but you're so focused on being considerate.
We're also considering someone who doesn't have language.
Exactly, right? And
So
then,
they just
even when
screaming
she,
at you.
and even when she does, like, you're still, no matter what, you're going to still consider your child. You know, like
course.
when you're trying to do it right. I think.
Yeah.
And so you just do the best that you can.
So let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
How do you guys pour into yourselves? Like, how do you make sure that you maintain a glass that's full and that you're not pouring from an empty cup? Because I feel like that's where, like, anybody goes wrong, is once they they have nothing to give, but they still have to pour. And I feel like as parents, like, you always have to pour. So, like, how do you guys make sure your cup stays full?
I've learned, I can go first. I've learned to ask for help and to receive help, and not that receiving help doesn't mean that I'm weak or I'm not a good mom or, you know, like the other day I was exhausted and I just hit up the kid's dad and I was like, I'm tired and I need help. I need a break. He's like, cool, I'll take the kids, you know, for the day. But that help, so I can just take a moment. And I literally slept all day long because I was like, I was exhausted, you know, but asking for help, receiving help is a straight game changer, 100%.
And kind of tapping in and figuring out what you need in a season too, because it's just different. Right
true.
now, for me, I would say the last year or so, it's been like getting out by myself and taking walks.
Yep.
I like to do any workout I can. I'll jump in. You know what I mean? I'll just morning mindset, whatever is going on in LA, I'm trying to just jump into it. But when I don't have that 3-hour flexibility or whatever, it's just trying to get out and take a walk. Sometimes it's on my treadmill late at night because everybody's asleep. But sometimes it's like just walking around the office in the middle of the day. And that for me helps a lot.
What about you, singer, songwriter?
Oh, I mean, from I think from a work perspective, because for the last, my child is 8, my oldest child, is that I think I've poured a lot into my family life, and a big part of prior to being a family was my career, and doing that simultaneously. But also, I think finding, like, I used to carry a lot of guilt. Like, if I had to leave my son, now I have a daughter, so I have 2 kids, and it was like leaving and, you know, feeling like I gotta go out on the road, do shows, and then, like, I gotta get on the first flight back because I gotta get back. This season of my life, I'm like, I'm gonna take the later flight.
Girl.
I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna go in a day early. I
love this for her.
I'm gonna go sleep at the hotel so I can have a good night's rest before I have my show the next day, because I deserve to have a moment of stillness. I mean, even my husband too. He travels for work a lot. He manages several artists, and he's literally, I mean, in this season we might have seen him twice for 2 days a week. So he's gone a lot. But he was trying to come back the other day, and I'll say this to you as a dad too. He was trying to come back for literally 2 days to go right back to New York where he was.
I gotta come plug in.
He was like, I gotta come plug in. I gotta come see the kids. And instead, I was in Atlanta for work, and I flew to see him in New York. And I was like, why don't we just have some time together?
That's nice.
You know? And thankfully, we have the help right now, you know, where our kids are good and we didn't have to worry about it. But it was like, I even had to say to him, I love that you want to come home. I appreciate that, because some people are like, I'm gone, and when I'm gone, it's on you. He really wanted to come back, and I was like, you deserve to have a day of stillness if you need it. But instead, he was still with me. So, so I think that's one way. And then also the other way is coming here. Like
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
I
Oh,
love
I
this
feel that.
space. The
Yep.
space
What about
of,
you, Ash?
of being able to have conversation and
sorry.
be with other people who are experiencing the things that you might feel is healing.
Is that how you feel when you're with your podcasters?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so much so like we shoot on Thursdays, and even when we don't shoot, we still meet.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I mean? Because it's like
Therapy.
it's therapy. It's
Yeah.
needed. It's needed. And like these are two of my best friends that
Yeah.
because of the season that we're in, I don't even see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see them. So like this is like when we sit down, it's homie time too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that I think I agree with you 1,000%. Like this podcast, it's a outlet. It's a
Yeah.
important outlet.
That's your answer
That-
too.
I
I
was
was like,
gonna say.
basically, he just answered for
Yeah,
you.
that's how they already know how I feel. I'm like, oh my God, because I homeschool my kids as well. So this helps break up the monotony of being home. My husband and I work from home. But I was actually going to say what Mel said too. So my husband and I have creative agency. We fly to Ohio a lot, and we work with Ohio State and Nike. And so when we're there, we usually are like Mel. We're like, okay, we have to go and we have to hurry up and come back. But like now, recently, we've been like, let's take the next flight out because we will like literally stop working at 2 and be like, okay, where's their flight at like 3 or 4? Come home. Yeah, because we just, we're very Velcro-y in our home. But we've been realizing like we need to spend more time with one another. There's just seasons too. There's going to be times when you're like full on dad mode and then you're going to be full on business mode. So I would also tell you don't look for the balance because that's fake. It's just going to be times when you're here, there, and that's okay. Like it's just going to ebb and flow throughout your life.
It's funny. I was listening to this podcast the other day. It was talking about procrastination. Damn, what was the last thing you just said? I just lost my train of thought.
Balance.
Balance. Sorry. I'm listening to this podcast about
That's that dad brain.
Yeah, he ain't getting no sleep.
procrastination. And he's talking about balance, and balance only should really be present in our life when we're searching for peace, right? But if you're like searching for growth, there is no balance. You know what I mean? Like in a growing space, like it's got to be. It's like this feels a little uneasy here
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And my wife and I, we talk
that's
about that
facts.
pretty often since I've heard that because it's real. Because I used to always be like, I need balance. I need balance. I need balance. You know what I mean? And that's true in a sense,
Yeah.
to a certain degree. But
Yeah.
a lot of times, no, I need to grow.
Yeah.
I need to grow. So I need to feel uneasy and imbalanced at times.
100%.
And the baby's growing, so y'all gonna be uneasy.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
Y'all
fact.
ready to
So
get
we-
into these
Yes.
listener letters?
Our listener letters.
Yes.
You
You
want
want to read it first? I can
Yeah,
read it
go.
first. Okay. Here we go. So, hello, ladies. I'm a single mom of 2 boys. I'm dating with intention, but it's been tough. I think my boys are scaring off potential love interest. They're super protective of me, but I need to have a life too. I'd love your thoughts on when the right time is, or I would love your thoughts on when the right time is to introduce a potential love interest to your children.
Well, you answer that.
Yeah,
Fee.
come on, Fee.
Well, first of all, I feel like if your kids are scaring off someone, I don't think that person is for you. Because I just don't think that the right man is not going to be scared of 2 children. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, whatever, run along. And then the second half, what did she say? What did she say?
When's the right time to introduce your children to someone
When's
you're
a
dating?
good time?
Child, until you get super serious, they ain't meeting nobody else. My kids,
I got a question though.
done.
Like, what if, the kids are just making the man uncomfortable, and it's like it's moments when you're not around. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's different.
It's moments when you're not around, and like, I mean, I can't discipline them.
Yeah.
They're not my kids.
Yeah.
So like,
Conversation, talking through it, figuring out what's good. The way I read the question when she said they're scaring them off, I was like, "Oh, they doing it on purpose."
Yeah.
Oh no,
Me too.
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
So I was like,
same.
what kind of
Yeah.
sabotaging
Me too.
children are happening?
I see. I read it differently. I read it like, oh, I have 2 kids.
Oh, you thought she was
that's
saying like
scaring
the thought of her
scary.
having- oh,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
no, I
but
read-
no,
yeah.
that is
I was like, "These little boys hating."
right.
Yeah.
Sit
For
your
sure.
ass. What are you
Down.
plotting and doing?
Still, I think it would still be the same thing though. You can't be with anybody that can't handle that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Like at the end of
facts.
the day, if they're going to be your partner and you're going to raise these children together potentially, then there has to be a level of communication and also like their ability to deal with them being however they're being, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
how are you going to be with them if you can't?
You
if don't
got to
like the
figure out how to
kids?
earn trust. The
Yeah.
person has to figure out how to earn the kids' trust. Like,
Yeah.
she said it. The kids are protective of her, as they should be. That's their mom, and like,
Yep.
you
who
know,
has to earn trust?
the person who's coming into the dynamic that wants to be with the mom,
Yeah.
I would think needs to figure figure out how to earn the trust of the child.
Absolutely.
Right. And it takes patience. I mean, that's if you're serious and you want to be with this person.
Are there ages?
They didn't
No,
say that.
she didn't say.
No.
probably
And of
little
course, that
kids.
I'm sure that definitely matters. It definitely matters. But also like it's a journey, and I think too, Fee, what you said about the right person, you gotta, if you're in it to be in it, you gotta be in it to deal with it. It's
Right.
like if you're in it to be with somebody for the long time, you have to also wrap your head around the fact that you are going to come in to become a step parent to those children. So
But am I trying, as a man, am I trying to establish a relationship and like a comfortable space with everyone at the same time? Because
I feel like the woman
if I don't,
first.
like if I don't, if
Yeah.
I don't make this,
First.
if I don't establish
Yeah.
this first, then like
Yeah.
that,
No,
that shit don't even matter.
100,000%.
Listen,
No,
maybe that goes to the
100%.
bottom half of it. Then when
Yeah.
do you introduce them?
Yeah.
yeah,
go.
but that's because I think she's probably questioning, did I do it too soon? When is
Yeah.
the right time?
Yeah.
Because there needs to be something established, because if that guy's leaving after that, after he meets the kids, then
Yeah.
maybe the connection is not there to begin with.
It's not as strong as she thought it
You know what I'm
was.
saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just giving like a scenario.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't speak to like when I think the right time. I think instinctually, I think it would be when you think that person is someone that you really see, you want to have them in your life.
Yeah.
And you would want your children to know that, hey, I'd like to build a future with
Yeah.
this person.
Yeah.
And you know, that everybody has to kind of be on board.
I'll say
And a
one
conversation
thing.
too with the kids.
100%. I'll say one thing with Peace and Zen. Peace more. Peace watches, like if I'm dating someone, she watches how I show up, and she'll be like, I don't really like him, you know? And then if she sees, but again, it's like if I'm stressed, if I'm worried, it's like, what you doing here, you know? But if she sees that this person is pouring into me and mommy is showing up positive and mommy is happy, then she's like, oh, I like that person. That's her biggest indicator of like, I like the person because of how you are showing up, you know?
And
So-
also, that's a good indicator for you.
absolutely.
Right? It's just like, oh, my baby is calling me out a little
Girl,
bit.
that's
It's
why I'm
like,
single, girl. I'm like, my baby said
Nobody's
no.
got the approval.
Oh.
And she'll do it on the low, like, but she'll be like, she always says, can I be honest? I'm like, always, please.
Is there ever a moment where you really like your opinion doesn't matter?
Yeah. There and it has to be, if she's judging too soon, like I'll listen to what she's saying, right? And because I'm observant and I pay attention to just what's going on with the person or whatever. But if she says something that it's like, I don't know about, like you kind of reach in, you know, then it's more of like, let's wait this out and see, you know. But I will say, I never say her opinion doesn't matter. It's just like, I don't need your opinion to make this decision, if
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
especially like at the end of the day, you are a child and I'm an adult, you know? So,
I love that.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read this last question and we'll wrap it up, as my daughter says. Okay, mamas, I missed this show while you were on summer break. I have a question for all of you. My husband and I have different parenting styles. I lean towards gentle parenting while he believes we need to prepare our children for the harsh realities of the world. Keep in mind, our children are only 2 and 4 years old. Their world revolves around Coco Melon and Mrs. Rachel. I'd love to know how you navigate parenting with your significant other when you have different opinions. How do you avoid taking things personally when you don't see eye to eye?
You should do this.
Oh,
because you're
Lord.
new.
Oh,
This is
my.
a journey,
Answer
though,
this
right
question.
here.
This would be great.
Man, I would say that the mother and father dynamic is vital.
Yep.
And they're both needed.
Yeah.
And sometimes as a father, I could already see how I'm gonna have a different perspective and even approach in the way I do things.
Yeah.
I would say there are moments where both of us, either one of us can lead. And we have to have discernment, use discernment when we decide on who's gonna lead in this situation. Now, I haven't been a parent long enough to like talk about various scenarios, but I will say that like if it has anything to do with like preparing my son or daughter for the harsh realities of the world, I'm gonna lead that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lead that because I agree with her partner. Like
Yep.
it's important for us to prepare our children for reality. At the same time, I want to protect my kids' innocence, right? So it'll be delicate how I proceed with that information and those conversations. And I think time will, like, there will come a situation that'll pop up with my children that'll make me say, oh, now is the time to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, because I believe that there's a right time and moment for everything. But I will say, like, you know, we got to find balance and trust each other, you know, when it's time to make those decisions.
Yeah.
So I would just say continue to talk to each other, continue to keep God first in that situation, and do what you guys feel is best. Like you trust each other. You know what I mean? You or trust you.
Yeah.
Trust you. You chose this partner for a reason.
That part. Trust that you chose this person for a reason.
Trust you.
Yeah.
Trust you. You know what I mean? So even if it doesn't come off how you really want it, you got to understand that both people have the right intentions here.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have the right intentions, and we both want the best for this kid or these
I agree.
children.
That's good.
I agree.
That is good advice.
I like the trust you.
Yep.
Trust
Yeah.
you.
Trust yourself.
Well, we don't need to answer. He did.
Right? He did that. Okay, the new daddy came up in here and took control of the question. Okay, y'all. So that is a wrap on the Mama's Den today. Thank you so much, Omar.
Wait, that's
so
it?
much. That's it.
That's
it.
Yeah, you got questions
You dropped
for
the
us?
bar.
You got a baby to
want
get
us
home
to-
to.
What? Oh, I thought we were just getting started.
I mean, we
What?
can do. You come back
Hold
for
up.
part
I thought we
two.
was kicking
We
it.
gotta have like a nice and neat Mama's Den.
No, that's what we gotta
mashup.
do.
Like,
That's what we gotta do.
should.
That's what we gotta
We should
do.
do a live.
Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah, y'all not,
We
y'all
should
not
also have
serious.
candles.
No,
Y'all
he's
not
serious. Very
Y'all not
serious.
I said it on wax.
Have y'all done a live show before?
Yeah.
We
We've done
have,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
One in
Where-
But
Yamava.
we've definitely not done it with three men.
No,
sitting with
that
us.
would be so
We
dope to
ready.
do it with.
That would be a
three
great
men.
dynamic.
Are the other hosts parents?
Jelana's a parent.
Okay.
Jelana's a parent and engaged.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And Duke is not a parent but engaged.
Okay.
So
That's
both,
good.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Interesting.
Let's do it.
That's cool.
Yeah, wait, tell everybody where they can find you, all your
Thanks.
social medias, ats, and all of that.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. You guys can find me at omar.bolden on everything. And you can find me also speaking with my other hosts on Nice and Neat the podcast on everything. So please tap in, come share a conversation with us, gain a different perspective and some understanding on some topics that I know you guys are talking about in your own home. So we take pride in that, and we would appreciate the listen and the view.
Yes. I have one last question.
Oh,
Why is it called Nice and Neat?
Good question. So me and one of the podcast members, me and one of the other hosts, we played together in Denver, and one of our big homies used to say, we would go out to practice and he'd be like, hey y'all, let's make this shit nice and neat. And like all that was just like, hey, no mistakes. Let's be clean out here.
Yeah.
Let's not have to do shit twice. Let's get in and get out of here. And like that just resonated with us. Like, like
dope.
that was I mean, I heard that in 2014. I've been using it ever since for everything. You know what I mean? If it's fresh, oh, that's nice and neat. You know what I mean? If you on
Wait, why
time,
do
you
I
nice
think
and
of-
neat.
Why do I think of whiskey whenever I see
did
nice
too.
and
Because
neat?
they always put that little, you guys always use that
Okay.
emoji too.
So you know the evolution of
Yeah.
of men, right? Like we started off drinking, you know what I mean, on the show. Like so much so, like our first 3 episodes they never aired, right? And here's
This
why.
not gonna go
And
well.
here's why is because we you know like sports, we want to give ourselves a preseason to see how we looked on camera.
Yeah.
And 2 things we noticed: one, we can't be drinking like that. We can't be drinking. This shit crazy.
Like, I'm a little too
Hey, I'm too. I'm wide open. I'm wide open. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. And then also too, like with our lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't drink.
Yeah.
Duke don't drink. Or he maybe casually, and Jelon same thing. But like I don't drink. You know what I mean? So and that happened as we started. Like I gave it up. We started in 2021. I gave up liquor in 2022. You know what I mean? So it just I know it sounds like a liquor, and don't get me wrong, we would love a liquor sponsorship.
I was gonna say that.
Hey, we would love
Don't
a
block
liquor
them blessings,
sponsorship.
buddy.
So, but yeah, if I'm just being authentic and real, like, I don't rock with it. So,
Nice and neat.
Gotcha.
I love that.
Well, thank you
but
so
yeah,
much.
Nice and Easy's the brand. Tap in.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you guys for having
Omar.
me. I really appreciate this
for
space. It was
coming.
really
This is
dope.
nice.